figure out where is your superpower. And I don't really like to use that language so much, but the thing that you're so good at, you can almost do it with your eyes closed. Everyone has that, whether you've been a stay-at-home mom or you have worked in the corporate space or you've run businesses or owned businesses. You have that expertise inside of you, and most people never tap into that. And they don't because maybe they're taught other strategies, low ticket strategies, things like that. And when you can actually leverage what you're already so great at doing and you can add some passion to that, you should like it, right? It should be something that you're passionate about as well. That's fire. I mean, that is just going to be fire for your business. And also, Samantha, I hear a lot of people say it's about your value. No, no, no. It's about the value you bring to the market. It's about the value people will pay you for. You are worth more than anybody can ever pay you, right? And so I don't like that language because it makes it too much about you or about me.
Yes.
When really it's about what we know and what we're able to deliver to our clients. So that shift puts a different perspective on it for people.
Welcome to today's episode. I'm super excited to be chatting to you today about stepping into the expert spotlight. And I've invited Ann Carden to come along and chat with us. We're going to talk about premium clients. And this is a topic that I think is a great topic right now to chat about, because while many people are saying, you know, things aren't going well in the economy, sell low ticket, I'm of the opinion that there are always people sitting in the first class seats when you get on the plane. So, Ann, welcome to the show. I'm really looking forward to diving into this topic with you.
Thank you, Samantha. I'm super excited to be here and to meet you. And I love what you said about there are always people sitting in first class. There always are.
Absolutely. I remember, I love all the metaphors, but a few years ago, I met someone at a workshop and he said, you know, Sam, he's like, people are always buying Ferraris, but it's just that you can't sell a Ferrari in a schoolyard. And it has stuck with me so much.
Ooh, that's good.
I'm constantly saying you can't sell a Ferrari in a schoolyard. There are always people out there who are wanting to buy premium products when you're doing it in the right way. And you talk about like really stepping up and owning that expert in you. And I think that's really where I'd like to start today's conversation, because so many people sort of position, you know, going on the same metaphor, they position themselves in the schoolyard. So I'd love you to start off by talking a little bit about, you know, owning your expertise, what that means, what it looks like. Yeah, let's start there.
Yeah. So I love this. And so I just want to make it clear when I talk about premium luxury, I don't like to call it luxury necessarily because I work a lot in the B2B space. But when I talk about premium, I'm talking about multiple 5, multiple 6-figure clients. I'm not talking about $3,000, $5,000, which is when you're out there, if you're out there in the online world, you hear that all the time, high ticket. And they're talking about maybe 10,000 on the high side, but 10,000 would be like maybe a cash offer for my clients on the low end. Like that would be their lowest thing. So I want to just establish that first. For example, I have a client that closed a $413,000 client a few months ago. And that's what we're talking about. But I love premium because through 34 years of building businesses, and even when I worked in retail management, I was in premium. I was managing multi-million-dollar departments in high-end department stores. And so I learned the whole premium thing because we were selling fur coats back when that was the thing. And, you know, $10,000, $12,000 fur coats, right? And we sold high-end cosmetics. And I was in a lot of different departments, high-end women's clothing, designer clothing, that kind of thing. So I think that sort of was ingrained in me. And when I came into being an entrepreneur myself, I took what I knew about that and I applied it to every one of my businesses. And I've applied it to all the people that I've worked with, because people have so much more opportunity than they are a lot of times either being taught or exposed to, or they don't realize that they can do this in a much bigger way. If you think about like the I don't, in Australia, I don't know what it is, but if you think about like the Tiffany's, right? And then you've got the basic jewelry stores, but then you've got Tiffany's. And so when you are in that market, it's a very different game, but it just helps it's number one, more profitable. And it's just, it can expand your business so much faster. So that's really how I kind of came into this. So many people are not working in their expertise, and it's keeping them in those lower fees, playing smaller than they really need to do.
Yeah, totally. You just mentioned that you've got a client that signed a $1,413,000 client, which I think is amazing.
I don't know what that is Australian, but
you know what? I'm confused. I'm like, it's more, but whatever that is, it's a lot.
It was US dollars, so yes.
I love it. I'm guessing, well, actually, I know that there's multiple different pieces of this, but can you talk to people that are listening to that going, well, that's great for that person, but that's not me. From the perspective of who that client needs to be, because that's not the typical schoolyard client. So where do we need to look for clients? But also on the other side, as an expert, what do we need to lean into to be able to charge those kind of fees?
Yes. So the first thing is to really figure out where is your superpower. And I don't really like to use that language so much, but the thing that you're so good at, you can almost do it with your eyes closed. Everyone has that, whether you've been a stay-at-home mom, or you have worked in the corporate space, or you've run businesses or owned businesses. You have that expertise inside of you. And most people never tap into that. And they don't, because maybe they're taught other strategies, low ticket strategies, things like that. And when you can actually leverage what you're already so great at doing, and you can add some passion to that, you should like it, right? It should be something that you're passionate about as well. That's fire. I mean, that is just going to be fire for your business, because nobody will have to teach you how to do your thing. You'll already know. You'll already be confident. You already have credibility because you've done it. And so leveraging your experience and your knowledge and skills is your fastest path to being able to go premium. And it's knowing how to build a business around that. So the first step is understanding what that is. What is that value you can bring to the market? And also, Samantha, I hear a lot of people say it's about your value. No. It's about the value you bring to the market. It's about the value people will pay you for. You are worth more than anybody can ever pay you, right? And so I don't like that language, because it makes it too much about you or about me, when really it's about what we know and what we're able to deliver to our clients. So that shift puts a different perspective on it for people.
Absolutely. So I guess what I was alluding to with the question, because I'm trying to think, like, what are those objections that people are already putting up as they're listening to this, going, yes, but this is for other people. Do we need to be always selling to corporate to be able to charge these prices?
That's a great question. No, I mean, if you are selling in the consumer market, you're selling services. There's a luxury market out there. There's affluent, right? And so you can be selling to those people. You can sell to businesses. You can sell to high-end professionals. You can sell in the corporate space. I mean, there's always people out there with money. It really comes down to what is it you are going to sell, and then who is the right person for that. And it's about figuring that piece out, putting the packaging and everything together. But then, of course, you've got the marketing and the sales piece and all of that goes with it as well. But I mean, here's the thing, Samantha. I know you said it might not be for me, right? Somebody out there thinking it might not be for me. But here's the thing. I've never worked with anyone that couldn't do it.
Love this. So if you're listening, strap in. Now you have a three-prong process to help experts to really step into the spotlight. I would really love it if you could give us an overview of what this three-prong approach is, and then I'd love it even more if we could dive into this.
Yes. So this is really around the marketing piece. So once you know what your brilliance is, and that's packaged up, it should be a process or an offer that is transformational, creates a big transformation, a big result, a big outcome. So once that is packaged in the right way for who you are going to deliver that for, now I love working virtually. So I want to teach people how to do the virtual stuff. Most people know how to go out and network. Most people know how to go out and speak on stages. And they know that if they're going to grow their business, they're probably going to need to do that. But I love to help them actually work virtually to be able to get those high-end clients. And when you can actually incorporate the offline world and the online world and build that kind of hybrid business, like, you'll never worry about where your next client's going to come from. So when I talk about stepping into the expert spotlight and selling, I say usually the expert virtual spotlight. It doesn't mean you can't speak offline on stages and things like that. And that's a great strategy, but I want to teach them how to do it online. So the first prong is we have to get them positioned in the right way. People have to see that they're the Lamborghini and not the cheap used car. That's the first thing. So you have to look like the Lamborghini. If you're going to get premium fees, you have to, as I'm looking at my background here, which doesn't look really great, and I've got sun coming in my window, I'm looking and going, okay, this doesn't look very premium. But if you don't look like you are really, truly excellent at what you do, you can look behind me. I've got books, I've got a magazine, I've got my branding behind me. You can go out and look online and you're going to see the same congruency in my message, in my branding, in my marketing. That's the first thing, is get positioned well, get positioned for the people that you're trying to attract, and get positioned with the right message and the right marketing and the right visual, right? Where the positioning, if for people that don't know what that is, it's the outside perception people have of you, of your brand, of your business, of your credibility. So that needs to be first, because that is the foundation to build that know, like, and trust. If you don't have that, then again, you're not going to look different. You're going to look like everyone else, and people aren't going to see why they need to pay you the big fees. So that's the first thing. The second piece is you need people, right? You need to be able to bring in these premium clients. And so we want to build out your marketing systems, your virtual systems that can help you do that. And I have multiple ways that I help clients do that, everything from VIP virtual events, to being able to leverage what I call high impact podcast strategies, to just even LinkedIn is a phenomenal place for high-end clients as well. So we put that whole people piece together. And then the third piece is really the process. Now you've got to actually put those systems in place, build out the sales process along with it. It's not just about getting these high-end leads. Now you've got to be able to close them. And so there's the sales, there's the process in closing sales. So it's really, again, it's the positioning, it's the people, and then it's the process to close those people into high-paying clients. And this is everything from proposals to how you're doing your payment structure, to even running your systems, your sales system, so that you're consistently converting people. And you've got conversion events, or you've got ways that people are coming in and converting. So it's those three pieces that we put together. When you do that, you have rinse and repeat systems that will consistently feed your business high-end clients.
I love that so much. The process piece you talked about, it's not just the leads coming in, it's the sales as well. I want to link it back to something you talked about before we even started talking about that. And that was packaging up your services in a way so that they're transformational. Because as you just said, you can get leads all day, but if the leads don't convert, then they're useless, 100%. Essentially. So yes. I didn't want to use that word, but I couldn't think of another one, but essentially that is the case. What are some tips you can give around packaging your services in a way that when those leads come in, that those leads are really hot for what you've got?
Yes. So this comes down to having the right message and knowing who your target audience is, and then getting the process in place to reach them. You have to get visible to them, right? And you have to attract them. So this all comes with both the marketing and the sales piece have to go together. So it's not just about getting leads. How are you going to turn those leads into business? So when you package, one of the things that I help people do is figure out all of their expertise, all of their brilliance, and what that can be to the market. What you're in the online space. So one of those strategies that's taught out there is, do one thing and sell it over and over again, right? And scale that way. But what I have found is that people that really are experts at what they do, that's not a very fulfilling business. It's not very transformational. And that's what I found when I came into the online space. I was told to sell this 90-day thing, and I was doing that. But then I was getting my clients great results and they were excited. And then I had nothing else to sell them and they were going away. And I'm an A to Z coach. Like, I want to help people scale their business to that $1 million or beyond. And so I wasn't selling my services that way. So the transformation just wasn't there. It was almost like a quick win. And then, okay, bye, see you later. And this is what's taught out there in the online world. And it's just really keeping people playing small when they have so much more to offer. Like, that's a great scale strategy when you get things going. But if you want to work with really high-end premium clients, you need things that are more transformational, not a strategy. A lot of people are teaching a strategy. And what happens is people are like piecemealing their business together, doing that. So when you're working with really high-end premium clients, it is about what is going to be the transformation you can give them. And a lot of people say, well, gosh, I don't want to spend that much time with clients. It's not about that. They are actually they're not paying for your time. They're paying to save time.
Yes, exactly. It's how can we do this in the least amount of time possible? Because premium clients are busy people.
Yes, they want to get it done. They want the shortcut. They don't care. I heard the analogy one time. I'll see if I can think about this. And I thought it was so brilliant. But they said, if you went to the dentist and you said, I want all new, brand new, beautiful teeth, right? Just give me a whole mouthful of new teeth. And he said, great, it's going to be $40,000. And we can do that over the course of a year, or it's going to be $40,000 and we can do that in 2 months. Which would you want?
100%. Like, let's take the shortest time possible.
Exactly. Which is, you wouldn't say, oh, no. I think I want to go through the process for a whole year, even though the price is the same. And it's kind of a silly analogy, but or a metaphor, but it really is how these high-end people think. It's like, I remember one time a coach said to me, so Ann, this is way back in the day. Okay, so you're getting $30,000 clients, but you're working with them for a year. What if you move that? What if you could do that for 6 months? And at that time, it kind of blew my mind. I was like, right, like because I didn't understand all this concept, right? But truthfully, if I can get people super fast results, I mean, they would rather have that. So you don't have to, it doesn't necessarily mean more time. And so I think it's important for people to understand that because they don't, a lot of times they equate the money with, oh my gosh, I'm going to have to exhaust myself with this client. And actually, to me, it's just the opposite.
Totally. I brought in a product a couple of years ago where I took a 1-year program and charged the same amount and did it in 3 months. What I discovered was that not only would people rather spend it and just do the 3 months, that they could actually sustain working like a sprint for 3 months, knowing that at the end of that, it was going to be done. So the clients that do my 3-month sprint get results super fast because it's just like, we know this is only going to be 3 months. Let's just dive in and get it done. And it's worked so well.
Yes. And I think the important thing too, and again, that might be the right thing for some people. It might not be for other people. So people say, well, how long should I work with my clients? I just did a workshop last week and they were putting together these really huge offers and they said, well, how long? And I said, how long is it going to take you to get the results with them that you're promising you're going to get? That's the amount of time you need to do. And what I used to take a year to do with clients now can be done in 6 months, even 5 months sometimes, or 4 months. But I'm actually charging the same thing that I used to charge for a year. So you can get faster results. But then the other cool thing is I'm actually keeping them beyond that time because now they want to keep going, right? They want more. There's other things I can do, like business doesn't stop. There's always more that they can do. So it's been, it's just a game changer when people do this in their business.
Totally. Let's go back to dive a little bit deeper in your three-pronged approach. Let's start with positioning. Now, you mentioned positioning is all about how the others perceive you to be sitting in the marketplace. For someone that at the moment is sitting there saying, I'm just an accountant, or I'm just a coach, or I'm just a personal trainer, what can they start to do to unpack what makes them different?
Yeah. So one of two things. If you don't have anything that's different, then innovate. So think about how you can innovate to set yourself apart, to look different. You're selling weight loss. Okay. Well, you can innovate by creating a program that is unique to you. You can innovate by giving it a name. My first $1 million offer that I ever sold was 30 years ago in one of my fitness clubs. And it was a high-end package at that time. It was called Body Blast. And it was a complete brand on its own within my club. And so I learned this method back then. And so my whole point being, you can set yourself apart by creating your own type of offer, giving it a name, giving it an identity and a brand, and it becomes unique to you. You've got your own way and you are unique. And so all of that needs to come out in your positioning. But also think about whatever that is you're going to put together. Who are going to be the clients that would just love, love, love that program from you? Go and target them and more importantly, get positioned for them so that they really understand. A good example of this is if you want to work with celebrities, position yourself that way. Say it. I do XYZ for celebrities. I do this for influencers. I do this for top level CEOs. I do this for, whatever that is. By saying that, you can also set yourself apart. So think about this. Everything that online now is not an option. And the first thing people are going to do, whether you're trying to get a speaking engagement or you're trying to get on a podcast, people are going to Google you. They want to find out about you. And if you don't look like the Lamborghini, if you look like the cheap used car, you will not get those opportunities. You will be missing those opportunities. You're probably missing them and you don't even realize it. Or people will question, why would you charge this much? You don't look like you should charge this much. Like it just brings down the credibility factor. And I am all about, when you have this done right, when you're positioned right, people don't say no to you. They are excited to get on a call with you and say they're like pre-sold. I know you're the person I want to work with, right? I've looked at lots of people. I know you know what you're doing. This is the power of what we have available to us by building up that positioning online.
Love that so much. Let's talk about the people a little bit more. You mentioned LinkedIn. You mentioned a couple of other platforms. How do you help your clients, or how can we help people that are listening understand where to be to find the right people? Because LinkedIn is great for some people, but not for others. So how do people really work out where their people are?
Yeah, I think it's important to know. And again, it depends on the industry that you're going to be working in. But one thing that I will say is a lot of people don't tap LinkedIn, and they could be, because first of all, 43% of millionaires are on LinkedIn. FYI. 99% of Fortune 500, Fortune 100 companies are on LinkedIn. 70%, I think it was 70% of people said they would trust a brand more if it was on LinkedIn. So you need to be on LinkedIn, even if that's not where your clients are. And so many people aren't even tapping that platform. And it is a business platform. So if you're looking to sell high-end services, there's almost, unless it's just a consumer that's not working a job or anything, again, you have to kind of know where your people are. But for most people, they have that opportunity on LinkedIn. But yet a lot of people, okay, TikTok. And so I've watched people on TikTok, but I don't know people getting high-end clients on TikTok. TikTok might be selling a lot of their $47 things or getting them a lot of likes or getting them a lot of followers, but I don't know how much money people are really making. I actually reached out to some clients that I had a few years ago, and I saw that they were doing TikTok, and I said, "Hey, how's it going?" And basically they said, "Well, I'm getting a lot of reach and blah, blah, blah," but they knew from working with me, that's not money in the bank. And so I don't think it's really feeding their business in the right way. We've also seen Facebook be the same way. Build a Facebook group, put people into a Facebook group, sell to those people. I'm not saying that can't be done. I'm just saying the majority of your high-end clients are not hanging out in Facebook groups. They're not. Not saying you can't build that way. I'm just saying if you're organically going to sit there and search everybody and do it that way, you can. It's just a slow path. To me, it's a slow path. So if you can set up on LinkedIn, LinkedIn has the #1 targeting capabilities of any online platform. You can target people by revenue in their business or their profession. You can target their job titles. Even if you wanted to target, tech people, right? You could target them, people that are making high incomes. So I think it would be more like, why wouldn't you be there? I think almost every client I've ever worked with, we've moved them to LinkedIn. And it's, even if and here's a strategy. So here's another way to think about it. When I first started working in the online space, I was on LinkedIn and we were moving them to Facebook. Into Facebook groups. Now, that was several years ago. It worked really, really well. Now it's pretty saturated with Facebook groups and things like that. And a lot of LinkedIn people are like, no, I don't want anything to do with Facebook. So I think people have become a lot more jaded with those strategies, but you can drive them other places. So yeah, I'm sure that was a long-winded answer from what you
it's all good.
wanted to know. But yeah, you do have to know where your people are, but then also think about, am I missing opportunity because I'm in the wrong place? And that happens a lot.
Totally. Processes. Now, there needs to be a lot of processes behind the scenes. You mentioned quickly a process for leads and process for converting into making those sales. What are some of those processes around the lead generation? Because it's not just one process. And what are some of the other things that people need to think about?
Yeah. So first of all, one of the things that when people are building like their online influence and their online brand, that's one piece of marketing. But the other side of marketing is, okay, now how are you going to move those people into sales, right? You have to have ways to convert them. And so you also need marketing systems, ways to get people off the fence. That could be inviting them to a call. That could be I love to do virtual workshops and teach in virtual workshops and break down those walls. And, when I spend a day or 2 days with people in a virtual workshop and teach them and just dive deep with them, they are ready to move and work with me because they now understand, oh my gosh, I can do this. This is a real opportunity for me. So you have to have also the marketing systems that will bring you people that are ready to buy. But then the other pieces to this is I see a lot of people that do proposals. So I deal with this a lot with coaches and consultants. Or service providers. They're sending proposals and I help them really eliminate the proposal process or at least minimize that process so that they're not wasting time spent writing endless proposals, chasing after clients. I help them really change that whole process so that they're co-creating solutions with the prospects that they're in front of. And when you co-create a solution with somebody based on what they say they want and what they need and what you see they need, and you're working out that whole offer together, and this would be a more customized process, you don't have to do a proposal. You do an agreement at that point. So it helps people eliminate a lot of that. But the other thing is with coaches and consultants, the way they're taking their payments, the way they're being paid, keeps a lot of them cash poor or not making the money or giving them the revenue that they need to really grow and ramp up their business. So I help them also fix that process. How can you get more paid in fulls? How can you, and there's several ways we do that, but let's just say, for example, and I don't know how you do things, Samantha, but let's say you're going to close $100,000 client. Well, what if they paid you that in full? And that hits your bank account. That's life-changing for most people. And so many times people are like treating themselves like the bank for their business. And when you do that, you keep yourself until you're a multimillionaire and you have the funds to do that. A lot of times you really are holding back the growth of your business. So we help them fix that payment system as well as part of that sales process so that they can just ramp up faster. A good example, I have a client that I've been working with, and within 3 days, she put $50,000 cash in her bank account. And she said, I've never put that much in my bank account, because she was taking the payments from people and she was breaking it up over a monthly payment plan, which gave her a few $1,000s, right? And so it's not just about raising your fees and getting paid more, but also how are you getting paid? That's a really huge piece of it.
Now, you've got a workshop coming up. So if people have been listening to this and they want to know more, can you tell us a little bit about what you'll be covering in the workshop and who it's for?
Yes. So the workshop, the next one that I have coming up, is called Step into the Expert Virtual Spotlight and Sell More Than You've Ever Sold Before. And it's about bringing in a steady stream of high-paying clients, adding $50,000 to $100,000 or more a month by putting in some systems. So we're going to help them put together their really high-end offer. I'm going to be going through my 3-step process and helping them set up some sort of a conversion event or system of some kind so that they're ready to kind of hit the ground running out of that workshop. And it is one of the best ways that I have that I get clients, because again, when they're in there and I'm helping them, it's like, oh my gosh, you mean I could do this like fast? They're ready to move a lot of times. So I love doing these workshops. It's a great way for me to, but they're VIP. So you have to have an invitation to the room. You have to be able to be there live. They are free, but we do vet the room. And that's part of the whole VIP system that I teach my clients. And so that will be coming up, but it's a game changer for people when they start applying this to their business.
Love it. So the link for that will be below if you would like to be a part of that. So just scroll down on whatever platform you're listening on, and the link for the workshop will be below. And what is one thing that you want to leave our listeners with today to really help them to think differently about really stepping into this expert in them?
Yeah, so I would say, if you feel like deep in your soul that you wish you were making more for the services that you're providing, or you maybe feel frustrated when you help a client and you're like, gosh, I should have made a lot more for what I helped them do or the results that they got. It is time for you to step up your game. It's time for you to level up and go more premium. Look, there's a lot of people out there that claim to be experts and they're not. But if you truly are an expert, you're not a beginner. Even if you're beginning your business, but you're not a beginner in what you know, in your knowledge, your experience, your skills, you need to be stepping up and working in a premium market. Let everyone else scrape the bottom. Let everyone else go after, when you don't know a lot or you don't know how to do a lot, you got to figure it out, right? And you have to play at that low end market. But when you are excellent at what you do, you have skill sets, and you know your stuff, you need to be stepping things up. So you should have confidence in what you were able to do.
Love it. And thanks so much for coming and talking about this topic today. This is a topic that I love talking about. I love sharing this information with people because there are so many people that step into entrepreneurship after maybe a long corporate career or a long business career in something else. And that all of a sudden they think, oh, I'm a beginner, but they're not. They're not a beginner. And we need the expertise of people like this to be stepping out there and truly getting great transformational results for their clients. And it really is about stepping out into the spotlight so people know who you are. So thanks so much for sharing this today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on. It was a pleasure.